Hi, it's Ramesha here with Vocal Bliss. Today we're going to talk about how to master vocal dynamics, which means how do we learn to sing loud or soft depending what the song needs in the moment. And this is something that we can learn to do even in the moment we feel like, oh, the next phrase I want to be able to sing soft or loud, and our voice responds immediately to what we want. So how can we learn to do this? But before we dive into it, as always, I'd like to suggest you subscribe to my channel so you won't miss my future videos. To be able to sing loud without straining or soft without losing the tone and whispering is one of the most desirable features a singer can aspire to. In this video, I'm going to explain how to work on and develop these skills. You can't really express feelings without being able to sing soft or loud, and you can't really sing soft or loud effectively without knowing the correct technique to do it. Whether you sing soft or loud, the placement, the way you place the note in your throat doesn't change. What changes is how much air pressure you're going to use. But what you do here, in terms of how you place the note, remains the same. That means that you shouldn't tense or squeeze your throat when you sing louder, and you shouldn't change the way you place the note in your throat and let the placement fall backwards when you sing softer. So your voice should sound louder or softer, but always retain the same quality. It shouldn't change from soft to medium to loud. It should not change the quality. So it should always sound the same. It shouldn't sound like a different person because you're singing louder or softer. So the tone quality has to remain the same. My teacher used to say that the larynx, which is here where the voice is produced, should be like the eye of a hurricane. Everything around it happens, you sing loud, soft, whatever, but what happens here should be untouched, should be like a center of peace and quiet around which everything else happens. So singing softer or louder should not involve your throat too much. So remember, when you sing louder, number one, use more air pressure with more support from your belly muscles. Number two, open your mouth a little bit more, especially when singing higher notes. And remember, number three, don't squeeze the throat. Don't tense the throat. Conversely, when you sing softer, you should have obviously less air pressure going up, but the same, if not more, belly support. So your belly does not relax because you're singing softer. In fact, it stays well engaged, if not more, to be able to support the breath and sustain the tones even when you're singing softer. So you don't relax your belly, okay? And also, number two, there's no need for your mouth to open quite as much as when you sing louder. Sometimes it's easier in singing softer to just keep your mouth a little more closed, but your belly is doing all that other work anyway. So these two things happen. The belly keeps working, the mouth can relax a little bit, but these two things need to happen together. And number three, as I mentioned earlier, don't let the placement slip backwards and so you lose the tone. So basically, if you're singing a note, ah, and then you sing soft, don't let it, ah. No, keep it, ah. Because if the note stays placed, like I just showed you now, then you're able to raise the volume, turn down the volume, but the note stays exactly the same. Whereas if you lose the placement, you're like, ah, and you have to replace the note and it doesn't sound very good. And you can tell that the sound is different. When I'm singing softer, it's a completely different tone. And it doesn't sound like me anymore. It could be anyone whispering, really. It becomes like an unknown voice. So you want to maintain that placement, and you do that by keeping a good support of air from your belly and keeping the voice placed. Now, I have to say that in order to do this effectively, and I have other videos where I talk about how to sing softly correctly, but in order to do this well, you have to first learn how to place your voice singing louder, because it's a lot harder to sing softer with good placement. So first you learn how to place your voice in a louder volume. Not super loud, but louder. And then once you're able to do that and the voice is well established in its forward position of being well placed, really full, no breath mixed with the sound, but just pure sound, then you can work on gradually singing softer, but maintaining the placement. And one way to do it is to literally like place the sound singing louder and then pull back from the volume, but try to keep the same sound. And try to really go softer and then back if you can. Okay? I really want to emphasize how important it is to work on dynamics like this and be able to really, like I said in the beginning, to respond to whatever the music needs in the moment. And, you know, it gives you freedom to express whatever feeling is there for you in the moment of performing a song. And it could make the performance of a song that you sung many times different every single time. But you have to be able to do it well, and you have to be able to do it knowing that your voice will respond to what you want. And so I really recommend you practice this. Practice singing louder, keeping the throat relaxed. Just focus on your throat as you sing, and you increase the volume. You can hold a note and increase the volume and try to really keep the throat relaxed. Feel that the power to be louder comes from more air being used, more air pressure being used coming from your belly, and not from anything at all that you do here. Okay? If you feel your throat changing position or doing something when you're singing louder, it probably means that you're tensing something, and so you want to avoid that, because in the long run it will make your voice tired. And then when you go softer, same thing. Feel that you're sustaining from your belly, but you're not changing the placement here. So as I said, this is like the calm in the middle of the storm, of the hurricane. This stays always the same. So I hope this is helpful. It's not easy to talk about these things without showing. You can't really see what happens. I can only demonstrate with the sound, but I hope you have enough information to try it on your own. And I would recommend you try with long notes. This is the easiest way to work with this kind of thing. And so start with a normal volume and then increase. Focus on your belly and make sure that the increase of volume comes from there and not from here. And same thing when you sing softer, feel that it comes from less air pressure, even though your belly stays engaged to sustain the breath, and doesn't come from changing the sound and the placement here. Okay? All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.